What about the United States? Well, after refusing to sell vaccine raw materials, it is now trying to undo the damage. US President Joe Biden spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi last night. He promised to send emergency assistance. This includes oxygen supplies, vaccine materials and medicines. On Monday, an Air India flight picked up oxygen concentrators from New York. And this is a welcome shift. Remember, America was reluctant to help. It changed after it was slammed the world over, not only for refusing to help India, but also for hoarding vaccines. So here's another shift. America now wants to send up to 60 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine to different parts of the world. When will that happen? After American regulators check the safety of the shots. It could take weeks, it could take months. There are no clear timelines. The world is not America's priority. So why is it sharing vaccines at all? Because it's got too many of them. More than 550 million excess doses. I'm going to repeat that so that you can note it. The United States has 550 million extra vaccines. That's what you call hoarding. Let me show you a chart. It shows how many doses some countries have produced and how many they have exported. These figures are till the end of March. Countries like China and India exported more than 40% of their supplies. Even the European Union shared 42% of its supplies. What about the United States? It exported 0 shots. What about the United Kingdom? Again, 0. They exported nothing. Countries like the US and the UK represent the global elite, the rich who booked millions of doses well in advance. Now they have extra vaccines, enough to inoculate their population 3 times over, in some cases 5 times. But they haven't shared anything with the world. And they're making sure this system does not change. They will not share vaccines. They will not share vaccine recipes. Life-saving drugs have been locked in patents. It's a subject that I bring up every day because it is the most important battle right now. The world needs to end this pandemic, and for that we need vaccines. And the rich have locked up these vaccines. Reports say during yesterday's phone call, Prime Minister Modi pressed President Biden about this. India has been pushing for a waiver on vaccine patents at the World Trade Organization, the WTO. The US and the UK have aggressively blocked this proposal. And backing them are countries like Japan, also the European Union. After the phone call, a senior official of the Biden administration was asked if America will relent. Will the United States back a patent waiver? Team Biden said it has nothing to share on this front. And it's not just governments, by the way, who are putting patents over lives. Even individuals who make up the global elite are championing the cause of Big Pharma. The likes of Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist, believes vaccine formula should not be shared with the developing world. He gave the statement on Sunday. Bill Gates was asked if it would be helpful for intellectual property protections to be lifted. How did he respond? With an emphatic no. Why? Because he fears that lifting patent rights, even temporarily, could compromise the safety of vaccines. Bill Gates believes in keeping the circle tight. He says the ideas like moving production from a Johnson & Johnson factory to a facility in India are novel. And they only happen, and I'm quoting here, they only happen because of our grants and expertise. Bill Gates is towing the line of Big Pharma. According to a report, every vaccine maker has its own secret recipes and supply chains, and they insist that no other approach is possible. Nothing else will work. And this is exactly why the world is lagging behind in the global vaccination drive. It's because the supplies have been limited by design. It's not like we cannot produce more. Only a few companies are being allowed to make vaccines right now. Consider these numbers. More than 1 billion shots have been administered so far. 1 billion. 87% of these have gone to rich countries. 1 in 4 people in wealthy countries have got a jab. What about the poor countries? Just 1 in 500 have got a shot in these nations. Do you see the gap? 1 in 4 versus 1 in 500. According to a report, only 0.2% of the doses made so far have been dispensed to low-income countries. And this is not just a question of inequity, which is bad enough. This strategy will come back to bite the rich because at this rate, the pandemic will take years to end. And if it doesn't end in the poor countries, it will not end in the rich ones either. We have enough proof of how this virus mutates and jumps borders. So this is what we have as of April 2021. Around 18.5 million doses being administered daily around the world. At this pace, it would take at least 19 more months, 19 more months, to inoculate 75% of the world population, which means extending this pandemic for at least 2 more years. What we're saying is very, very simple. Vaccine patents are a dangerous idea right now. The biggest roadblock on our path to recovery. If the world wants to end this pandemic, it must end vaccine patents first. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.